Hi, this is Varshitha here on Lulupu TV. Today I'm going to show you how to make gardenias, and I'm also showing you the card which I made for Lulupu challenge number 18. I was so inspired by a lot of tutorials on net by many awesome crafters. I'm also listing some of my favorite blogs and YouTube channel where I got inspired. I am mentioning it on the video description and on the blog post. Here are those awesome gardenias which I made earlier. Now I'll show you each and tell you the difference in them. Here is the one which I colored with vintage photo distress ink pad, and it's just a simple one with matching pollens inside. This one is a smaller size comparatively. I inked them with dried marigold distress inks. The next one is a two-tone color, and I colored it with distress inks again. It is with baked raspberry and salty oceans, and I glittered the corners with diamond dust just to give a glittery look to it. This one I colored using colobox pigment ink pad, and I chose pigment ink pad to give a pastel look to the flower, and it really worked out well for me. If you notice, there is black dot in each petals of the flower, and I made it using an old toddler toothbrush. I tapped the toothbrush directly in the ink pad and I stamped it in each petals, and that is how I got it. The next one is a two-tone colored one. This I colored using dilution ink sprays. I used a yellow and a grape color. This looks a little pale, but using the dilution ink sprays gives a very vibrant finish. I will show you that in this video. Now on to my card. I am showing you this card to talk about the gardenias I loaded on it. The big one is colored using big raspberry distress ink pad, and I glittered the edges with anti-linen distress glitters, and the gold pollens just matched it perfectly. For this flower, I have given a pastel look with colobox pigment ink pad. The small one here, for this I wanted a peach color to match the pollens which falls in pastel shades. Unfortunately, I didn't have any peach color ink pad, so I colored it with two distress ink pad, which is dried marigold and spun sugar. As light pink and orange makes a perfect peach, it did. For this, I used dried marigold. To get a stronger orange shade, I colored and dipped it twice. There are 4 layers in this card. The third one is the white cardstock embossed with 6 treacle flourishes embossing folder, and I have inked it with 2 colors, dried marigold and spun sugar, to give a gradient two-tone look. I have taken these 2 colors as a main combo and used it all through the card. Here we go. Let's start to make the flower. Here I am having a floral shaped digital die cut in 4 different sizes. You can take similar die cuts or punch outs or even hand cut it. This is 2.2 inches, this is 2 inches, this is 1.8 inches, and this is 1.45 inches. Basically, I've chosen this shape because it really suits the flower well. This technique goes well with 6 petal die cut. You can also try with a 4 petal die cut. As it's a digital die cut, I made the center hole with the die cutting machine itself. As I prefer having a punch hole instead of piercing the paper, after doing a lot of work on it, as I end up tearing the paper at that stage, it really spoils. The punch hole really helps to maintain the neatness of the flower. Take 2 or 3 die cuts, a small cup of water, a coloring medium. I am taking seedless preserved distress ink pad, a tweezer, a needle tip tool, some kitchen towels, and I am taking glossy accents, and you can pick any adhesive you prefer. Take a die cut. Now fold them into a half. just an exact half. So give it a good press. Now consider it as three parts. So fold the right part to center. The left one is going to go to its back. So it should look something like an accordion. So just leave it aside and do the same to the second die cut. Fold it, one to center front and one to center back. And here it is. Take a distressing pad. Now we're going to color the folded die cut directly onto the distressing pad. We're just going to dip like this. Just ink it well on the edges. If your fold is right and it's all perfect, you no need to worry, all the layers will be inked properly. If not, please have a look on it. If you're planning to do a lot of flowers in same color, you can just dab the ink pad directly in your craft mat and spray some water. So then you can pick the color directly from your craft mat and you cannot leave the ink pad open for a long time. The coloring is done. Dip the petal onto the water halfway inside. Just turn it. Now just give a good squeeze and also see to it you're distributing the ink uniformly. Now the bottom part is empty, so you're just going to ink it a little bit and we're going to dip again in the water. Give it a good squeeze again. Dip the kitchen towel. We're going to put this piece in between the kitchen towels and give a good press. This will take out the excess of water and you will have a very perfect piece to mold. I'm taking the second piece. I'm doing the same process again. Keep your ink pad and water aside. Give a good press so that the water is absorbed well. Now it's time for molding and tweaking. Keep your tweezer and heat gun ready. Take one piece, keep it with both your hands like this. The thumb should be little away from the edges. Give a good push to center with your thumbs. It will form a center ridge. Turn it and do the same. And turn it again, pinch it from the edges like this. Once the pinching is done, take your tweezer, keep it at the top of the petal. Carefully give it a twist and it's done. Now let's do the same to the other piece. For checking the right stage to start molding, take the piece from the kitchen towel, try molding it. If you see the paper getting stuck to your hands or it's getting too mushy while pinching, it still needs some good press in the kitchen towel. If you feel the paper is crisp and pinching is not getting a good ridges like shown, the paper still needs some dip. Please read the blog post about the tips on choosing the supplies which will help while working on the flower. Now pick the molded piece with the tweezer and dry heat it with your heat gun. I chose Dad is heat tool as it has good blow speed which is good for making flowers, but Ranger is the best for emboss heating. Now open up the petals carefully. If it's dried well, it will not have any problem in opening. If not, it might tear while opening. While opening it halfway, give a good press in the center by which you get a good molded look. Open up the other piece too. If you feel it's not dried properly, it's okay. We can dry it later. Press it well in the center. I decided to make a 3-layer flower, so I just made another one. I'm just putting them in the needle tool just to dry it. As we dried them earlier in a folded stage, that might not be a completely dried one. So now it's completely dried. Now let's layer it and embellish it with pull-ins. I'm just picking 4 metallic gold pull-ins, just folding it and giving a good twist to the wire so we can easily insert it in the hole. I'm going to use glossy accent to adhere it. Take the topmost flower layer. The topmost flower layer is small comparatively the other two. So here it is. I'm taking glossy accent. I'm using glossy accent as the adhesive to stick the layers. I'm just giving 2 dots here and there in the bottom of the petals. Now let's take the second layer. See to it the layers are completely dried. If you're going to do the layering before it's dried, I'm sure you're going to end up in tearing it. Again applying glossy accents. Twist the wire before inserting each layers. Just stick it well and here it's done. Here is the gardenia we completed. See how beautiful the layers are. Now I'm going to show you gardenias making with some other coloring medium. I'm going to show you with colobox, pigment ink pad and as well as dilution ink sprays. Now I'm taking dilution ink spray and spraying on the mat. I've already sprayed it. Take some water ready and we're going to do the same. Fold it like an accordion. Pick the color directly from your craft mat. Like this. Just do a C-shape rotation. As I told already, less and more is always fine. As told, dilution ink space gives a very vibrant color to this flower. If you want a little faded look, you can give more dip inside the water. If you wanted a really vibrant finish, you can dip in the color again and a very slight water dip. Now while pressing it inside the kitchen towel, see to it there is no other color in the particular place as it might pick up color from the kitchen towel too. I am just repeating the process in the other layer. Now let's do the molding and tweaking. Just start molding it, pinching it, also turn it and do it again. This one is really getting better than the first one. To get a frilly look, all you need to do is start molding it in the right stage of wetness. You will know the right time to do it with some little practice. Tweaking is very easy, but be careful as initially you might tear some pieces. But that's okay, you will achieve it in a very short span. Giving a quick twist make your flower look very beautiful. Now I'm drying it directly, heating them from craft mat. Now that I feel it's little wet, so I'm just gonna open it and dry it again. I'm not patient enough to air dry it, so I prefer using a heat tool to dry it, and it works well for me. Now I'm going to layer it and add the pollens. I'm just speeding up the process. You can also try embellishing the center part with other stuffs like flocking powder, glittered pollens or beads. And here it is. Now let's try gardenias with colobox pigment ink pad. I am choosing this color which is called Ocean. You can try different coloring mediums and tell me what worked out best for you. I am taking 2 die cards. This is a little bit smaller size. I am going to speed up the process. Just ink it directly from your ink pad. It's really smooth, it gives a very pastel look. I'm here using kitchen towel to distribute the color and squeeze the water just because my hand is too inky. I'm going to make this flower a two-tone one as I don't want to make the video lengthier by showing it separately. I'm using dilution ink spray. This color I'm using here is crushed grape. Spray a little onto your craft sheet. Now as I already colored the top part with ocean pigment ink, and I'm going to ink the bottom part with crushed grape ink. I've actually picked up a lot of ink which I didn't plan to, but that's okay. Now this might look a lot of grape colored one, but I wanted to highlight the aqua color, so I just inked it again with ocean's ink pad before layering the flower, by which the cardstock would have been completely dried and it would be ready to pick up ink. I'm going to make the flower with these pieces, and here's the completed flower. Did you notice I've inked the edges with ocean pigment ink pad? Now it's a perfect two-tone gardenia. These are the 3 gardenias which I showed you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on the blog post or on the YouTube channel. I'll be happy to answer you. Bye-bye.